name's Heather Burke, and this is assignment number 5 for PIDP 3260. And today I'll be talking about the 4 corners technique, which is a formative feedback technique that can be used in the classroom. In this screencast, I will go over 4 concepts: the purpose of the activity, how to perform the activity, and then advantages and disadvantages to the 4 corners technique. First off, the purpose of the activity is a formative feedback for both the instructor and the students. So really, the goal is to gain real-time feedback on what the student has learned or how they are feeling about the lecture. Next, I'll talk about how to perform the 4 corners technique. It's actually quite simple. You're just going to place a poster showing one color in each of the 4 corners of the room. Then you're going to ask the students a multiple choice question, and the answers will be color-coded. Ask the students to stand up and walk to the corner that represents the answer that they feel is correct. The entire procedure is quite easy to perform. There's not a lot of preparation, just the 4 posters, one for each corner of the room, and to have some questions ready to go. So what type of questions should you ask? Well, it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking to see if they understood the concepts you just taught, you could ask them a theory-based question. For instance, in this example on the screen here, I'm trying to determine if they understand the concepts I just taught. If you were to do this every 10 to 15 minutes, it chunks up your lecture nicely, gives them a movement break, and it ensures they understand the concept before you move on to the next topic. With the example that's on the screen right now, I'm asking the students if they are still wanting more review on this topic in the next lecture. This way I know if they're ready to move on or if they want to continue on with this topic. The types of questions you could ask are endless, and I like the idea of having a template ready to go, and as I'm teaching I can get a sense of what's happening in the classroom, and I might take a break and ask a quick question, give them a movement break, and then change the path of the lecture based on the feedback I get on the spot. There are many advantages to the activity. First off, it allows you to assess the student's understanding on a concept or how they're feeling about a concept immediately during the class. And it forces a movement break. It's excellent to put every 10 to 20 minutes. It gets them moving, gets the blood pumping, and it prevents those students from falling asleep in the back of the classroom. Another advantage is that you can write the questions right on the spot based on the lecture. If you get a feeling that they're confused or if they're bored, you can write up a quick question, get them to move, and then base the future of the lecture based on how they answer. Every student has to participate. It's pretty obvious if someone's still sitting in their chair and not participating in the class. And as I mentioned earlier, you can ask anything you want. It's easy, very little prep needed. But now we'll talk about the disadvantages, and the biggest disadvantage with this assessment technique is that it's not anonymous. Formative and summative feedback are always better when they're anonymous because they'll be more truthful. This method is not anonymous. It's very obvious which students went to each category. Because of this, you have to be very careful with what you ask because you might not get honest answers. Another disadvantage is if you're asking a theory-based question, the student might just follow and copy what all the other students are doing. So the student that doesn't know the answer might just hang back for a few seconds and then go where the majority of students are. And that concludes my report on the 4 corners. While not perfect, it's a great little movement break in the middle of the class, and it can give you some information on where to steer your lecture next. Thank you for listening.